All right, we're back. Super Sports Media Talking Heads, Spring Summer Edition in the house. I'm here with my guys, E-Tally.
Oh, you let me go first. I was gonna let Mike go first.
Now you go. Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm your boy E. Talley, the Director of Operations for Nike Pro Skills San Antonio and also South Texas. Proud supporter of Super Sports Media
Hmm.
with
This is Mike Daniel Jr., employee of Alamo City All Star Sportsplex, and super proud supporter of Super Sports Media. Glad to be here with these talking heads.
And I'm Richard DeLeon with SA Premier, and I'm also a proud supporter of Super Sports Media Talking Heads. And I am happy to be here with my two guys. We're gonna jump right in it, guys. Um, I
Let's
hope y'all.
go.
I hope y'all are ready.
We got some good topics.
Yeah, I hope y'all are ready. I hope y'all are ready. Number one, to talk about these topics, but then also talk about what you guys got coming up. So be ready for that because I'm going to ask you what you guys got coming up as well for your programs. But we'll kick it off with our first topic of the day. I'm going to ask you guys because you guys got your ears to the ground and you guys kind of seem to have a good feel for what's going on in the basketball community. So I'm going to ask you because a lot of people are probably out there wondering what are the best tournaments that these kids should attend, especially the San Antonio kids here. Um, I'm gonna throw that out to you guys. Let's find out what we think as a team here. What are the best tournaments to attend?
Well, grade level.
Let's say high school. Let's stick to high school right now.
Okay. Local recreation or aspirations to do something more?
Let's start with aspirations to do something more. We'll work our way through the rest of them.
Okay, I'll let Itali go first.
Oh, I was gonna let you go first, Mike, just because you run it and you see a little bit more.
I
Just
do,
a
which is why
guy.
which is why I'm going to let you go first.
I appreciate that. Thank you. For me and what I had my hands on and just doing it in the two questions we asked prior to, I would say one, everyone should do or should see the Gassos. Pick which ones you want, especially the live periods here, just so college coaches can know who you are or can get an eye on you and make sure you're reaching out to those guys. Make sure we get with Tim Littlefield. He is the Gasso representative for this area, South Texas, Central Texas, and South Texas. So make sure we know who Tim Littlefield is. Also, I'm gonna say play to your level. Play to your level. So once you pick out the Gassos you want to go to, play at your level. That's the best way. That's where our saying levels and lanes. Don't sit here and try to go and play in a made hoops event where you're not made hoops material, to where as though they have a lot of affiliate Nike and or shoe team affiliates playing in those events, and that's their attraction. So don't play in that if you don't have the guys to go. The fact we have three live periods, we have four if you include the TABC. I think making sure your school is engaged in that to make sure you get that fourth live period and just again play it to your level. That's what I would suggest. As far as if you want some name, I can name drop a few. Like I told you already, the gas. So um prep hoops is a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and give a little love to the Puma circuit right now because they're doing a good job what they're doing. I hear the New Balance is back at it again. I'm even hearing they have a and one circuit now. So again, play to your level of your shoe affiliation that you think you should play at. Go ahead, Mike.
So, aspirations to play higher. Definitely got to play Gasso. And the reason I say Gasso is because the coaches that come out to those events between here, San Antonio, and all the way up to Dallas, the coaches that come to those events are coaches of schools of the levels that these San Antonio kids, the majority of San Antonio kids are on, right? Your D3s, your NAIAs, your D2s, right? And so Gasso definitely top dog. Like you said, Tim Littlefield, if you don't know him, you need to know him. You spoke about some circuits, right? And It's funny that you brought that up. I literally, maybe about 5 minutes ago, I don't know who, I don't know where, I don't know how. I got a text message from an individual running a junior EYBL circuit and inviting me because he got my name and number from somebody. And I respectfully declined. I told him, I said, sir, with all due respect, I appreciate you reaching out and they sent an invite, but we're not on that level. We're not junior EYBL caliber, and that's an entire different ball game, an entire different level. You know, it's just like within Puma, you have your Pro 16, you have your next pro. We're not junior EYBL because junior EYBL is feeding to what's going to be EYBL, and unfortunately, I don't have a kid on that level, not there yet, and I have no problem, and I'm okay with that. Like you said, folks have to know their levels and their lanes. Joining a shoe circuit, to say you're on a shoe circuit and your average margin of loss is above 30 in the games that you're playing, you need to rethink options. Yelling that you played against this and played against that, but again, your average margin of loss is above 30. You sound stupid yelling that you're on that circuit. There's levels and lanes. We said that last year. We'll say it again this year. Folks seem to have a pride issue with being comfortable with the level and lane that they belong on and in. I don't know why. I don't get it. You know what? To each their own. But the question was, which tournaments, bar none, Gassos, got to be at Gassos. You have to be at Gassos. You have to get familiar with Tim Littlefield. Got to know who Blue is. Half the people don't even know who the hell Blue is. Right? Walking around the gym, which one is the actual guy responsible for it all? Right? And so just knowing where you belong. But Gasso, you got to be there. Now, if you're going to choose to go and play in those circuits, hey, kudos to you. Good luck. Good luck.
At some point, do you think it becomes a little bit of malpractice, where you're not doing what's best for your kids? You might be doing what's best for your program and the perception of your program.
No, I think some people have the right mentality, but at some point in time, you've got to acknowledge what you've got.
Yeah.
It becomes an ego and a pride thing. And it's okay to want, but if you're not there, you're not there. You know, don't set up, because you're going to end up losing those kids anyway. Just do right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and piggyback on that subject. Now let's talk about locally, because I'm going to just stick to locally. What are the best tournaments for your younger age groups all the way up into that high school group that's recreational, rather than trying to get to college and playing the Gassos and stuff? You know, then don't be afraid to pound your own chest and pat your own back. I mean, if it is what it is what it is.
I'm not going to do either of the sort. I'm going to let Mr. Tally tackle this one, and I'm
about to sound really crazy.
I'm staying the cut.
I'm gonna sound real crazy, and you two know why I'm sounding crazy. I'm gonna say every tournament in the city is offered. It's great for our kids in the city. From Eugene, with him hosting the events he has, all the way up to Premier, and the Road to Nationals, all those guys. Every event, because every one of them have a different level of play, and they bring different dynamics to the city. So for me, I'm gonna support them all. That doesn't mean I'm playing in them all. I'm not playing in them at all, in them all, but I like the different variety, and I will promote them. And I say this because, again, they're local businesses at the end of the day that's trying to make a dollar. We can critique them and we can sit there and say they're price gouging. They're doing the same things that when we go to Houston, Dallas, and Austin. They're doing the same thing. The price is all in comparison. So I'm not going to sit here and and tell everybody how bad it is that we play here. Wrong. No, we're going to support our local businesses like we're supposed to. Again, you find your niche and your group that you want to play with. And I say that because, again, at the end of the day, these guys are they found something they're good at, and they're providing a great service for us. Now, if you're going to tournaments and you have fights breaking out and no security, those kind of things, yeah, you might want to stay away from that. But if you can get into the sportsplex and play your 3 games and not have any trouble, and you get out and you like that atmosphere, hey man, that's where you should play. If you go down to Brooks and the same thing is being done there and you like that environment, hey, go there. If you play with us in Eugene over there in Southwest or St. George Maronite, hey, go there. And wherever else that there's tournaments offered in the city. But that's where I believe elementary and below should start. I'm always going to support the YMCA I-9 end zone programs. I'm always going to support those because you need a brand new feeder, and those guys do a great job getting kids just interested in the sport, and that's what it takes. And then as far as when you want to talk about even the older high school kids, the Road to Nationals, they do a good job of every now and then hosting some ninth grade events. Uh, Sportsplex with Mike Daniel, he does a great job with hosting that early high school events. I like what he does when he's doing the leagues and on Sundays. It's about to kick back up. So to me, staying local is good. Every now and then, take your kids to Austin. Go to Austin. Go play up there with Game Time or what's the other group up there, Mike? They went
Rise
to
up.
Rise Up.
Is
Go
up.
play in their Go play in their events. Give them a taste. Get away from us for every now and then. But I'm gonna promote local stuff. I'm always gonna promote local stuff. Go ahead, Mike.
So, again, it boils down to levels and lanes. Like Mr. Talley said, each of the tournament directors here in the city, they all bring a different special dynamic. You know, all of us, and those of you that don't know the major tournament directors, you've got Eugene Esqueda with Venom, you've got Premier Athletics, you've got Full Court Athletics, you've got Road to Nationals, you've got the Sportsplex tournaments, and all of them bring a different type of structure, a different type of dynamic. Mr. Talley was 1,000% accurate on that. You just have to determine, what it is you want. Do you want and okay with running clock situations? Do you want stop clock situations, for your middle school and above? Do you want to play under one roof? Do you want to be all over the city? Every director has their own niche. Every director has their groups of teams, their loyal faithfuls that are always going to be in their events. And so you have to just decipher what you want. But at the end of the day, you're going to get your games. Your kids are going to get their reps. They're going to have an opportunity to grow and develop. What I will say, I've been seeing a lot of this lately, a lot of startup programs. And I see a lot of teams that truly have no business in a 3-game tournament. I had explained to a Friday night league coach just here this past Friday, because what I do in my Friday league, once the score gets above 25, I wipe the score to zeros. We still keep it on paper, but I wipe the score. And I had a coach ask me, why do you do that? Why do you do that? I said, because it's league play, coach. League play is the true opportunity for growth and development for children. It's 1 game a night. We don't want little Johnny, little Susie looking up and seeing 66-0. We don't. They can see 25-0 and then it goes to zeros. They don't need to see those points continue adding on. Now, tournament life, I have no mercy in tournament life. Tournament life, you want to press the whole game and have 100-4 score, go have 100-4 score. That coach that only scored 9 total points out of 3 games, you, my friend, need to rethink what you're doing. I applaud your effort and I applaud your aspiration. But again, there are levels and lanes to this youth basketball gig. Put your kids in leagues. Go find out what it really is before just, we're tournament. Slow down. You have to scoot before you can crawl. You have to crawl before you can walk. You have to walk before you can run. You got to run before you can sprint. There's levels and lanes to this madness. Instant lemonade. Everybody wants instant lemonade. Everybody wants greener grass. And I hate to say this, but it's ruining the sport. It's ruining the sport. Instant lemonade and greener grass. It's ruining the sport. And so, like Mr. Talley said, to answer the question, every tournament director that runs a tournament is going to serve its purpose. You're going to have an opportunity to gauge and gouge where you're at and where you belong. But once you find out where you belong, be okay with that. Be okay with it.
Yeah.
Put your pride to the side. Nobody's ever died from swallowing their pride. Put your ego to the side. Stop making it about you and remember what you're there for. Those children, give them a true opportunity to grow and develop. I literally just told my third grade team today, we are removing you from tournaments. We're going 6-month growth and development plan. You will only play in Friday night leagues. Come the end of August, we will revisit the opportunity to play tournaments in the fall starting in October. But right here, right now, there are no more tournaments for you guys. Like, why? Why am I going to send my 8-year-olds to get slaughtered on a Saturday or Sunday? Just why? To say we did something? No. I'm not going to kill an 8-year-old spirits. No. Let's get in the gym
I win that trophy,
consistently.
Mike. I win that trophy.
Let's get in the gym consistently. Let's attend practices consistently. Have a 75% or above practice ratio. Let's get in the Max Fit training room and get your agility, get your foundation, get your feet together, get your bodies together. Let's have success in a Friday night league, and then let's talk about playing in tournaments. I'm okay with setting a plan and a vision plan. I'm okay with that. And here's the thing, as a parent, if you're not okay with that vision plan, I'm okay with that too. You want to know why? Every program for every parent for every program. And I'm okay with that.
That was one of my issues when we were younger. I couldn't grasp that part right there. Every kid's not for your program, and you're not for every kid. It took me a minute. It took me a long term. And I wish more coaches that get into this would understand that. Like, you have the bigger programs doing the bigger stuff on purpose, and know that they've been at this a lot longer than you. So as you try to get in this business of trying to say I'm gonna have an organization versus jump on with somebody, because honestly, that's what a lot of people should try first. Jump on with a bigger organization first, or someone that you can provide that's your services and your help first. And there's nothing wrong with you coming on with Nike Pro Skills, San Antonio, and seeing it's not a good fit, and then saying, "Hey, coach, honestly, it's just not a good fit for me. I'm gonna take me and little Eric and go over here. I know you have a good relationship with follow through. I like what they're doing, a little bit smaller. They have their own gym. They have their Max Fit deal. I want more of that. Okay, go there. I have no problem. I will look you in the face and tell you I have no problem with introducing you to Mike or Richard or anybody else in the city. And the reason why is because that's the way you're supposed to conduct this business. To where, though, if we're really doing this the way we say we're doing it, it's about the kids at the end of the day. It's about the
Absolutely.
kids.
It's just like looking at teams and players, right? We all see kids and players, but it's a way to conduct yourself. I'll give you an example. Mr. DeLeon, Eric Talley has an 8th grader that I've wanted for 2 years. And because of my relationship with Mr. Talley, I never went and got that kid. And he plays with one of my point guards on my travel team. But you know what I do? I don't go to that kid's parent. I don't go to that kid's school coach. I go to Miss Talley about once every week or two. Hey, man, when you making his move? Go director to director, because that's the way you're supposed to conduct business, especially when you have a relationship with somebody. Now, he laughs and about hangs up on me every time, tells me, shut up, stop my foolishness. But at the end of the day, one of these days, he going to give in, right? But it's just, there's an etiquette there. There's an honor amongst thieves. That's the best way I can put it. There's an honor amongst thieves. Eric knows doggone well what'll happen if I get a hold of that kid, right? But that kid's a protege. Kid's a prized possession. I get it. It ain't going to stop me from going to him, because one day he just might cave. He might just say yes one of these days, right? The issue that I have out here, I'm not doing that today. Never mind. Not doing it today.
Well, we'll see a lot of the opposite happening at Gassos and stuff. You'll see coaches go sit next to the parents and stuff. That's just not becoming of us as program directors and stuff. You shouldn't be doing that. I'm totally against that. But that's a story for another time.
I'm a snitch. I tell the parent, ain't no keeping this hush. You're not finna have me in a bad position with somebody I got a relationship with. No, it don't work like that.
I used to hate when the coaches would send the other coaches that I don't have a relationship with at all. And then I ask them about it. I say, hey man, are you trying to recruit little Eric? No, bro. We good. And then a month later, for some reason I did something wrong. Me and that kid and fell out somehow. And then I find them, we really didn't fall out. I'm just being trying to be, facetious. They find a reason why to leave. So they find out, well, hey, I want to leave because we're not agreeing on our offense or this, that, and the other. And then they're over there working out. Now, the only thing I would say I really don't have not now. Not I've grown up. So not now. I don't even care anymore. But I will say, don't poach the kids. Don't try to bring his friends with him. You took the play already. So you won, okay? Hey, congratulations. Don't try to take the other kids. Let the other kids stay where they at. Because they didn't want to leave. They don't
Unfortunately, again, honor
they
amongst
don't know
thieves.
any better. You know what I'm saying? They don't know any
Dog eat
better.
dog eat dog world. Honor
It
amongst
is.
thieves.
It is.
Unfortunately,
Again, it is.
it's just that is this youth basketball. I'm not sure how football works, so I can only speak about basketball. It's a cutthroat mentality.
It is.
Folks,
It
folks
is.
think folks think that grass is green on the other side till they get to the other side, and then they
They do.
realize, man, you know,
I
you know how
was
many
wrong.
phone calls I've had with folks that have left thinking something, and then they realize what it really is. It's a trip.
Yeah, you absolutely right. And that's why, again, I've become numb to it. And now it's just like that's why I like talking about it and having our weekly conversations, but I've become numb to it now. Now it's like, okay, hey man, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. I'm fine with it now. I'm not gonna fib to you. It did used to bother me. And then once,
I'm not gonna fib. I'm gonna tell you, it's happened so much and bothered me so much that you remember what I used to always say with
mhm.
these teams of mine. What I used to always say. Do you remember Italy or Richard? Do y'all remember?
I remember you used to tell me all the time, hey man, I'm not getting emotionally attached because it's
Nah,
just,
there's something else I used to say. Do you
okay, then
remember?
no, I
What
don't
was
remember.
refresh our memory?
I hate it here.
Oh yeah.
You do say that a lot. That's becoming really a really known thing now. You're really starting to say that.
You said that last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember when it was, but you said it recently.
So I hate it here to the point that I poured in so much into so many, and unfortunately, it hurts when you lose a kid that you've truly poured into to the point that I've gotten to. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, you know what I told y'all last week? I was serious. Like, I
Hmm.
already told Shiv, from this point on, the teams that Mike Daniel coaches are going to be the teams that are Friday Night League and Friday Night League only.
Hmm.
Because those are the kids that, one, it takes me back to my roots, back to basics training. Two, those are the kids that need my guidance and development and help the most.
Hmm.
And three, those are the kids that probably won't get past the level of the Friday Night League. I don't have to worry about bigger, better, greener grass situations going behind my back or doing anything to get those kids, or a situation being sold, right? A hope and dream being sold to those kids. So I can put my heart into them because the odds of them going anywhere are going to be slim. That's where I want to be. Because I'm going to tell you, dealing on this other level, it hurts.
Well,
I'm a
that's why I
grown,
will always say.
I'm a grown man, and I'm okay. I'm secure. It hurts,
That's
like it
why I
hurts to
always
the
say,
core.
be around those who want to be around you.
But
That's my saying.
even
Hey,
then, there still may come a point that maybe it's not that they don't want to be around you, but again, that hope and dream was sold. That grass looked
again, hey
forest
man,
forest green, just watered. You know,
listen, I
it hurt.
have when I coach, I always say I have 10 extra kids, right? So I got 10 new kids, right? So having
Yeah,
10 new kids, I can't please all 10 at the same time. And I know I'm not going to make all 10 happy because I got somebody on the opposite side of that sideline cheering that one kid on that they only have that one kid to worry about. Where you, as the coach, you got 10 to worry about. And
yep.
that's where a lot of the dilemmas come from. But we got to just remember that you're doing it for the right reasons. And yes, it does hurt, but at the same time, you'll get it back. And this is the great part about this business. And I keep telling people when a kid leaves our program, we get three back. I'm not saying they got to be the same caliber, but we get three back. And those three are something towards, oh, guess what I can do? I can wrap my hands around them and say, hey, man, let's go. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay. But yes, in the part you're at right now, and as far as you're not green, but you're green to this part of the business, it's it's part of it. And again, I remember when we had the 24s, it was this kid, he moved to Vegas. So I think I can talk about the story because he's no longer with us. And his mom and dad just didn't like the direction I was going in, right? And I was like, hey man, but I'm working with him. I'm making sure we training this kid. And this is where I realized that a 1 hour, or excuse me, a 2 hour practice is not going to get little Eric good. Little Eric is not going to be the best kid in 2 hours. He needs extra training. He needs an investment of his parents, and he needs to be in a gym or working on his craft every day. Until they do that part, that's when I figured it all out. So yes, it hurt. It bothers, but at the same time, you get past it. And once you get past it, hey man, you'll get numb to it. And you just want to wrap your hands around those who want to be around you. And that's what it becomes. That's what follow through becomes. That program that kids want to be there. They'll stay there. They'll stay
I
there.
mean, the thing is like you said, sticking with the folks that want to be there. You remember the turmoil that happened at the beginning of your follow through. We had our fourth grade coach, fifth grade coach, and sixth grade coach uh, want to be on their own and do their own thing, and they left, right? And so I lost my whole fourth grade top team. I lost my whole sixth grade top team, and I lost half of the fifth grade top team. And so, with losing that fourth grade top team, we're at the Sportsplex. Fourth grade team is rebuilt. It's not the top team; they're just a Friday night league team. But guess what? We have a fourth grade team of kids that are showing up on Mondays and Thursdays, doing their best to grow and develop. Boom, great, love it. Fifth grade, half that team actually stayed and did not leave and follow that coach. And now that team is completely full, right? And competing. The sixth grade team built, right? Rebuilt. And so in just 2 short months, all three teams have been rebuilt. And they're able to be rebuilt because parents still saw the vision. Just because, like we talked about just a little while ago, follow through no longer was good enough for those coaches and those parents, and they went to find their own thing. Good luck, best wishes. But this train doesn't stop over here. It doesn't. Like you said, be with who wants to be with you.
Right.
Simple.
There
That's
you go.
simple.
Keep it simple. Yep. What's next?
So speaking of pouring into your kids and investing, and the kids putting in the work, and it's not just about 2 days of practice. You have to put in that work the other days of the week, every day. Let's segue into camps. What what camps would y'all recommend to the kids? We're just gonna right now. Let's focus right now on the kids that are trying to um, move on to that next level, play college ball. What camps are the ones we recommend, and what makes it a good camp? Why are we recommending these camps?
This is you, Italy. This is your forte, man. I'll be getting my guidance from you on this, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
Hey, this is where honestly I'm ignorant now. When I first got to Texas, I was really, really the guy. Like, well, okay, let me take that back. I wasn't the guy. I thought I knew a lot because I came from North Carolina, and we do a lot of camps over there. It was a camp over there. I can't think of the name, but where actually Chris Paul is from in North Carolina, the Winston-Salem area. They did a really, really fundamental camp that they would invite kids every summer, and it wasn't a ranking camp, but I did get into that ranking ideology of it all. And I got here and it was like, no, we don't do that. Okay. I tried to bring some people here. We didn't do that. So I kind of fell off. There's only three camps I'm going to mention that I promote. Or at least I think that if you want to invest in your kid and you want to really get them out there and chase the bit, that's the John Lucas right here. That's the Chris Paul camp and the Pangos camp. I can only speak on those three camps, and the reason why I can speak on those three, I did it with James. We did it his sixth grade, his seventh grade, and his eighth grade year. So whereas those phenomenal, man. I thought he had a great experience there. He was always listed as one of the top 20 kids. So in my mind, it was good to see him go and get the accolades that that I thought he was working towards. So for me, um, he never got ranked out of it, but I thought he just showed that he belonged part of the basketball scene. And that was my check mark to say, okay, you know what? He's not a top kid because he wasn't 6 feet, 4 and like that, but he was always a good guard. And the coaches there always liked him and they always gave him praise. Um, John Lucas camp, another great camp, man. When we first got here, it was one of the camps that everybody would push. Again, if you went to that camp and you showed out, you got identified as one of the better players here in the state. And then, of course, now, I got introduced to the Pangos camp, and that's another one. Whereas those are the only three camps that I can promote. I don't know a lot of the other ones. Of course, we know our local guys, Tim Littlefield, he does something every now and then. I definitely want to promote that. They do stuff up in Dallas with the Gasso. They do a Gasso here. Those camps, and those are the five that I can put my name on and say, hey, these are the five that I support. Go ahead, Mike.
I know that, Gasso, I'm trying to make sure I get the names correct because I don't want to say the wrong thing. They do I think them and Prep Hoops do what's called like a next gen, to where they have just the skills camp. Guys that come that had good weekends and get invited back. And the thing that I will say that I love about the Gasso and the Prep Hoops, there's politics, but there's no politics. When I say that, what I mean by that is this. If you reach out to the director of Prep Hoops and or Gasso and you tell them that you've got a kid, you know what they'll do? Okay, coach, thanks for the info. And they'll come watch your kid. And then they're going to give you an honest review about your kid. They will at least come get the review. If they don't know your kid already, they'll at least come see. And then they're going to tell you straight to your face, coach, appreciate you for your kid, but your kid ain't, and they're going to give you a quick rundown. But they will at least give an opportunity. The only politics involved is you being political for your kid. That's what you're supposed to do as a coach on that level. There's some camps around here that are so politically biased that you have top kids not getting the recognition and acknowledgement that they deserve. And so unfortunately, I'm not mentioning their names. Y'all can, I'm not. I don't give a damn what anybody says about them. I'm not. Somebody asked me about it, waiting for Jerry Arsenault to come on. Mike, who you talking about? Come on with it, Jerry. I'll be waiting. I'll go into detail and have supporting facts to provide as well. But if you're truly going to run a camp, going to be a writer, remove your bias and personal feelings out of it and take care of the kids. That's the only thing I got to say on that.
I'll go ahead and just add on to that. I think y'all both had really good input on that. But I would say for the kids that want to go to the next level, find out when all the D3 NAIA schools are having their little ID camps. Show up to those because the best way to get in front of college coaches is to go to their camp. So if you do have wishes and dreams of playing at the next level, and you find some camps that you want to go to those as well. Because the best way to get in front of a coach is at his camp. That's all I got to say about that myself. So that's good impact. Good input from both of you. But now I'm going to
Real
go to
quick, Rich, on
yeah.
that one, I just say just be careful. And the only reason why I say that, you got to go to the right ones because there's some camps like that we have here in San Antonio that are have the college's name on them, and I haven't seen a kid yet
Okay.
get represented from that school.
Okay.
So just be careful because again, it's not a money. I'm not going to call it a money grab because it is a business. We're all in. So I don't use that term. I
Right.
don't ever use that term. But again, just make sure when you go there and you get in front of that coach is knowing who you are. And it goes back to what Mike is saying in reference to the politics piece. Make sure your AAU coach or your high school coach is also putting a good word in for you.
Right. Well, it all works together.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It all
sir. Yes, sir.
it all works together. Yep. Speaking of college coaches, um, I think y'all are going to love this one. Give us a little bit of advice here. Give these kids a little advice on the preparation. What does it take to get into college? To get into play college ball? What kind of preparation are we looking at? What do these kids have to start working on to be able to make that transition, to get noticed, to get there, and then make the transition?
Etal, you mind if I go first on this one?
You know what I was just about to say? Because, if we're talking about just Eric Talley, I can definitely tell you guys how to prepare to get into the military. I can tell you how far to run. I can tell you how many push-ups you need to be doing and how many sit-ups or whatever the basic training regimen is. I can tell you that. So I'm gonna let you two experts handle this one.
So I can tell you the military stuff too. I'm right there with you, Hull, Army. Uh,
Cool.
that question you just asked, Mr. DeLeon, a lot of our children have been misguided and they have false realities. And what I mean by that is you're a senior, it's April, and you don't have an offer. Yet, an opportunity to go try out at a D3 at a junior college is given to you, and you turn it down because you're looking at something else. And so I had to walk away with a smile on my face because, when you go to a kid and you ask him, hey, how many offers do you have? I don't have any, I'm trying to get into some workouts. Oh, really? Well, here, I got something for you. And you provide something and you tell them, oh, that's too far. Oh, I wasn't looking at you. Okay, you don't really want to play college basketball. That's what I'm hearing. You don't want to play college basketball. And so, you walk away from them. And it's a trip. I don't know if some of these kids don't understand there's this thing called the NCAA portal. And so if you ain't been offered yet and nobody's talking to you now, you're going to be lucky if you get talked to come August, into July, when live periods are over and when they're done deciphering through that portal and fighting over all those kids that are in there. And so I asked another kid, since you're talking about preparation, right? I was talking to a kid, good athlete. And I asked him, I said, hey, what time is your first workout of the day? And his response was, well, athletics is at, I'm like, oh, you don't work out till you get to school? I'm like, what time do you get to school? 8:40. When's athletics? And so I said, so you don't do anything before school? Oh, no, we get to the gym, coach let us. I said, oh, so everything you do is at school and when coach allows it? Yeah. And so I just simply said, I said, young fella, I said, when you're really ready to get ready for college, come talk to me. Because unfortunately, I don't think a lot of these high school kids understand when you get to college, your first workout's somewhere between 5 and 6 a.m. and it doesn't involve a basketball. To think that you can go 3-4 years of high school basketball, get to the middle of August, September, and think that you can just turn on a regiment of starting at 5 and 6 a.m., it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you asked about preparation. A high school player aspiring to play college needs to go find a college player and ask them, what does their day look like? That's piece one. Piece two, go online, ask college coach, hey, what do you look for? Because I'm going to tell you, scoring 15 plus points and getting 10 plus rebounds, it's not the first thing that they're looking for. What's your GPA? What kind of teammate are you? Do you know how to play without the basketball in your hands? Can you defend?
We need to clip that one, E-Tally, right there. That last 15 seconds that Coach Daniel had right there. We need to make sure Chad clips that one and puts that as a reel.
I'll let
Right
him know. I'll let him know. I'll let him know wherever we're at right now. And when I watch it again, I'll let him know what the hour time is.
Yeah, and if you need a refresher, ask me because I want that right there.
Go ahead, E-Tally.
That's important right there, what he just
I'm
said.
gonna let Rich go. Because again, I don't I struggle with this one. And the reason why I struggle with this one is it's just like really trying to really play basketball. So this year was a tough year for us. And the reason why, the year before, I had a football kid that was playing with us, and I had to make him a football kid. And so this year, same thing is happening. We got a kid, he told me he wanted to play on Sundays. And the hardest thing to do is turn him away. You want to play on Sunday, son, and it's not playing with us. It's not playing with Nike Pro Skills San Antonio. It's not. I'm sorry. I want you to play. You will bring everything. You bring toughness. You bring grabbing boards. But if you're not going to work on your craft and you're not going to be a ball handler and do the three things that I need you to do, ball handle, pass, and shoot the ball well, you can't do those three things great. No, I mean, I'm not going to be the cause of it. And that was the hardest thing I had to do this year. So when we asked that question in reference to preparation, man, I can't even get jokers just to show up on regular practice days on time. And I struggle with that, and I try to make them understand it's about consistency. Coaches in your high school got it easy to an extent. Why? Why, you ask, right? Why? Well, because at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, whatever time that period starts, you're in his period already. So you're there already. So it's nothing you got to do. You got to stop doing at home to stop you breaking that whatever you're doing to say, oh no, I got to go here and do this. But once you kind of, get that real regiment, like you spoke of, okay, hey, it's 4:45. I got to set my clock. The first thing I got to do is make sure I get good sleep though. And I got to eat properly. So it's already bad habits that my guys have that I've really been getting on them about. Like, hey man, you got to eat properly. You got to get rest. You got to make sure you show up on time. And and like I told my guys this year, it's a great role, and I do love it. And I do love being the director of operations here. But it's hard because they don't remember, they don't know me as this new role I am. I would make jokes in the past about how you eat McDonald's is really not good for you. To whereas though now I'm the one walking in the gym, watching the whole practice and just like, ugh, and then telling them, hey, you got to eat properly. You got to make sure you get proper recovery. Like that's the big thing now. Like all my 16s are banged up. They're banged up. They went to their first full year of JV basketball or varsity basketball, and it's like, ugh, they're dragging butt. Oh yeah, by the way, the high schools are putting them through their workout sessions. So now I got to figure out a way to make our program match what the high school's doing. So on Saturdays, we're already ready to play. So I don't want to put too much on them, but guess what I'm telling them? You need to be in the gym. You know, we're offering, for one of the first years, we're offering 3 days a week for the gym time during the weekday. So I'm offering you 3 days, but you can't because you're just mentally and physically tired because you work out so hard. But it all starts from not preparing, Mike, going back to that ninth grade. See, they would have prepared properly in ninth grade. They'll be in this regimen already to know how serious it is. They all played 30 games this year. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of games. 30 games. Think about it. 30 games and not make them play probably another 30. So you played over 60 something games. You're playing a mini NBA series, NBA season, almost 80 something games in a calendar year. That's a lot of basketball, man.
A lot.
So just I would say for the preparation part, it's just learning you and learning how to take care of your body. Get the 8 hours of real sleep to where though you turn off that phone and you actually get into bed and really go to sleep. And then make sure you're recovering your body right. Make sure you're eating properly. And those are the things that I really want to put a lot of emphasis on, not so much you shooting the ball well and you working out, lifting all the heavy weights. It's the recovery part because so many kids are getting these knee injuries now and these ankle injuries. And why? It's because they're putting so much strain and so much work on them to where though that's where I would like to kind of, segue to for the preparation piece. It's just knowing your body, knowing what aches you have. Again, we talking about, this is a little bit like football, a little bit for receivers, and your hands are always crinkled up and beat up. And the reason why is because, again, man, that ball comes and you're just not ready. So you jamming fingers and you're still out there and you got these aching your hands are hurting more than it's supposed to. Your knees are starting to be sore. So, one of my guys, I didn't even know this. Did y'all know that schools have ice baths? Had no clue. Had
I
no
think
clue. Mom was telling me I'm promoting iCryo here, the new one they just opened up off of 35 in shirts. And the mom was like, "No, coach, they got ice baths at work at school." I was like, "What? When did that start?" Because that's what we need to be promoting that kind of stuff. These young fellas and girls, ice baths are important.
Yep. Yep.
Rich,
And y'all
before you tackle it, the last piece that I got, junior, senior year, parents got to be removed. You got to start learning how to get this stuff on your own. Got to remove mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy's not going to be there to tell you to get up and go to class. They're not going to be there to tell you go to weights, go to individuals, go to study hall, right? You got to start you got to grow up because it gets real when you get that freedom. When you get that freedom, it gets a total different animal and monster.
Yep. I agree. And why is this important? I'm gonna put a little pretty bow on this for you guys because y'all gave a lot of good information. Why is this important right now? It's because the route from high school to being a college basketball player or any sport has become infinitely more difficult because in addition to the thousands of high school players who want to play basketball, Division I basketball, that's everybody's goal, even though we know there's levels and lanes. In the transfer portal, there's 4,300 D1 transfers in the transfer portal for D1, D2, and D3. For JUCO, there's 3,800 plus in the transfer portal, and NAI there's 1,000 plus in the transfer portal. That's 9,100 transfers in the portal as of right now. I'm looking at this stat live. 9,100 transfers. There's 2,178 Division I scholarships available as of right now, with 9,100 in the portal. So I'm not going to do the math right now, but just do 9,100 minus 2,178. That's almost 7,000 kids that are in the portals right now that are not going to play D1. They're just going to trickle back down to D2, D3. They're going to trickle back down. So these high school guys, it's not as simple as just lacing them up and going and trying out. You got to make yourself a viable prospect for them. So those are daunting numbers.
I'm gonna give this past weekend, it's Final Four weekend. I had the privilege and honor to link up with a few coaches, and of course, I asked some questions. And I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Do y'all know why college coaches are in the portal versus seniors in high school? Rich, do you have an idea? Tell you have an idea. Y'all want to answer this one? Play along with me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go.
I'll just give you I'll just give you mine because I know it's wrong, but they're going to look at the more mature athlete. Their body's gotten a little bit stronger. They're getting a little bit more of that grown man strength, and they've been in the program already, so they know what it's like. That's all I'm going to say, and it's probably wrong, but go ahead.
Tell me
Yeah,
what you think.
I was told the same thing Rich was told. I'm going with the guy that's already showed that he can at least study a little bit and know how to put a routine together and you know and know what's expected.
So yes, both of you are accurate. You know what they told me, and I laughed. Coach said, "Man, if I can take the guy that's already got a taste of humble pie and already been on a college campus and knows what a routine is, and I don't got to play coach daycare, I'm taking that guy because he's already been there. He's already got his mug cracked. He's already got his humble pie. He's gonna have a different mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna have to break him down as we're gonna have to break down that kid that just came from being a man on his high school team.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're taking the easier, less headache route,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see some text messages that are just. I remember the old segment, "Can't make this stuff up."
Mm-hmm.
Man, some of the text messages, some of these kids need to get their phones taken away from stuff that they send, these kind of conversations that they have. Like, who do you think you are? And
Mm-hmm.
it's bonkers. Like, you got kids already asking about guaranteed playing time. Like, you ain't even signed yet. You're barely being looked at. And these are the conversations that are
Mm-hmm.
being had. That kid in the portal, hey, just grateful for the opportunity. Just let me know, what I need to do. And he showed me the comparisons, and it's real. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Some of these high school kids have a false sense of reality on what it really is out here right now. I don't know who's talking to them. I don't know who's guiding them. But you might want to clip Rich's numbers because I know Rich said those numbers because he's seen those numbers. You might want to clip that and play that as well because
Mm-hmm.
those numbers ain't none false reality about that. Those numbers are real.
All right.
That
Well,
scholarship number available, that number is
there,
real.
there's also a YouTube or like a clip of one of the coaches, a college coach, talking in reference to no, it was when Kingston got his 5 star, his 5th star, of why he got his 5th star. And that's why I thought we did him a disservice or injustice here in the city because we got a kid that's a 5 star athlete in our city that we can watch play every so often, and you can measure how good you are, what you need to look like. Like when you see the scrawny little kid and you're like, hey man, you gotta hit the weights. No, I don't. Hmm. Okay. You say, hey man, hey man, you gotta eat better. No, I don't. Okay. And then you go see Brennan play and you go see that pace and how fast they go. And it's like, man, we gotta play faster. No, we good, coach. Man, damn. So everything I throw at you that I'm seeing that certain, players and programs do, and I try to, give to the guys is like, no, we're fine. Well, we're fine right where we're at then. So just know, and that's where I really come to the conclusion of I can't make you want a scholarship. I can't make you want it more than I want it more than them. And so now I've come to the realization I can't want it more than them. I gotta just want it with them. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yep.
So
Gotta want
yeah,
it together.
man.
Gotta want it together.
Right. Right, exactly. Well, again, I want every kid to go to college. I really do. So I'm already wanting it for everybody. So it's nothing, that's why I try to make sure the gym is available every time I can make sure the gym's available. I try to make sure trainers are available as much as I can. I try to know many people in the city as we can know to where as though, hey, you know, what programs have what's a good fit for people. Because again, I know I'm not a good fit for everybody, and I'm fine with that. I really am. I'm telling y'all, I really come to the conclusion in my life to know where I'm at with mine. So, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna every kid's not gonna be for me and just because the kid was with you and he was really, really good with you. And I'll leave on this note, on this topic. I had a kid that was with me. He left in the beginning of the season. He told me, "Hey, coach, I'm going to another program. I'm gonna go try out." And I was like, "Man, why would you want to try out?" The good part of it all is he went to that program and he's excelling right now. He's doing really, really good. I'm so proud. I'm happy. And the reason I'm happy is because he wasn't putting all of him in us like I was putting into him. So some kids need that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, hey man, you got to rebound, bro. You got to rebound. You got to, you 6'4", 6'5", you 6'6". Get a dang on rebound. He's like, those I don't want to rebound. All right. So he finally took heed to what I'm telling him, went to the other program, and now he's growing like he's supposed to. Did it hurt me? Hell yes. I'll be the first one to let you know that bothered the hell out of me. But then when I thought about it, talking to Mike a few times, and he didn't even know it, he was giving me these seeds like, bro, it's okay sometimes. It's okay when a kid leaves your program and grows to be a better player because you had part in that. I was like, okay, I accept that. And now I look at him and he's right. He's absolutely right. I can sit back and kick my feet up. Man, you're right. We gained three. Remember my goal, you leave, I gained three. So it works out. It worked out really, really good for us. I'm really happy to hear the kid might possibly, hopefully next year be on that varsity level. I'll end it on that for me.
Yeah. Well, like what Mike said just a minute ago about the parents need to remove themselves for these kids to get themselves ready because now they're juniors and seniors. They got to want this for themselves. They got to do it themselves. And I think that's going to be a big problem. The reason the transfer portal is going to be more fruitful than high school seniors is because I'm going to give you a little story. I used to know a guy that used to stop at Whataburger every single morning for a breakfast on a bun, a Bob. He stopped every morning. Same little old lady used to work at the drive-through. He got to know her every single day. Boom, stop. She knew his order. Coffee, breakfast on a bun, all. She knew his order already. One day he starts talking to her and says, "Man, you're here every day." She goes, "Yeah, I just leave by 3 o'clock." Why do you leave by 3 o'clock? I don't want to be here when the high school kids get here to work. They're lazy. They don't want to work. And then, one kid got fired. She told him a story how one kid got fired because he was in the back sleeping during his shift. Now, I get that. That's a high school kid that hasn't learned responsibility yet. I get it. But here's the kicker. She said the next day, that kid's mom came up to the store to confront the boss to give her son his job back. Okay. And I think they get this from the school system in a sense because parents go up to the schools and the administrators and all that, they quake in their boots, they give it to them their way. But right now parents are too involved in their kids learning how to be young women and young men. And you know a parent actually had the audacity to go back to Whataburger to try to get her son's job back when he was sleeping on the job. And that's why we got to get out of the way as parents. Get out of the way, let them grow, because that's how they're going to make it. No matter if it's basketball, we could take basketball out of the equation, sports out of the equation. It's just life. We got to get out of their way, especially now that they're juniors and seniors. So I agree 100% with Mike on that.
Well, what you just spoke about, you guys watched the Final Four, and it boils down to accountability. As a tournament director and a league director, when somebody comes to me complaining about referees in a game, The first thing I ask him is, do you have the whole game? Because if you come complaining to me about 2 or 3 calls, I want to go watch the whole game because I'm going to break it down. And I'm going to tell you, well, he missed 17 travels on your team too that you didn't complain about. So why are you coming to me about these last 2 to 3 minutes? You missed 11 free throws and turned the ball over 14 times. And you missed 8 free throws. Why are you bothering me about a 1-point game and 2 calls? Leave me alone.
Sure.
Well, everybody saw that Duke-Houston game. And it's so crazy that the people that watched the game, that went to social media, that complained about the over-the-back call, which over-the-back isn't a call, period. Displacement and pushing in the back is.
I said displacement. I said
And,
displacement.
and so everybody had an issue with that call being made, but nobody had an issue with the shooting guard missing the front end of a 1-and-1. Nobody had an issue when the referee gave Duke the basketball when their player kicked the ball out of bounds right in front of Houston's bench. And they showed the replay 7 times and showed that Duke kicked the ball out of bounds. And they got that call wrong. Everybody forgot about that. Everybody forgot that the referees, the same referee that called the displacement foul, called the foul for the shooting guard to go to the line. Your shooting guard missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Their center made 2 free throws. So how are we complaining about that displacement call? See, I'm that idiot because I'm a firm believer of accountability. Duke, you were up 14 points, 45-59. Duke, you were up 6 points with 33 seconds. How are you complaining about a displacement call? That ref didn't take that ball out of bounds and couldn't get the ball in bounds on a press. That ref didn't miss that free throw that they called the foul for you. How are y'all complaining and blaming a ref? The problem with the world is accountability.
No one blamed the ref.
Accountability.
No one blamed the ref. Just said, if that call wouldn't have been called, the outcome of the game is different. The better team won overall. And I'll keep saying that.
If that shooting guard makes his free throw, the outcome of the game is different.
Again, yes.
If that team doesn't go 7 minutes and 47 seconds without a field goal, the outcome of that game is different.
Again,
Duke still had a chance.
Duke had a chance to win the game.
They had a chance and they were at 14.
9 seconds left. I think it was 9 seconds left. Was it 9 seconds?
They had a chance when they didn't score a field goal in a Final Four game for 7 minutes and 47 seconds.
Yep.
How are we even talking about that call?
Because at the same time, it's calls like that towards though, it's an if game. What if? Unfortunately, it is.
What if we scored a field goal, 2 field goals in that 7 minutes and 47 seconds? What if? There's a bunch of what ifs.
Exactly.
I hate that what if. I'm the guy. I hate that.
But it's part of sports. It's part of sports.
You're right. I'm allowed to have my what if too.
And the good part about it all, the better team still won the game. I will always tell everybody that the better team won. And it's going to support what you're saying, because obviously the better team came down at the end to win the game. The guy went to the free throw line. Guess what? They made all 4 of theirs. We're a Duke kid. He only made 1. It's not enough. Cooper got a great look at the basket, fading away. Hey, man, that's the shot he makes 8 out of 10 times. Guess what? This one time he missed. So again, all I'm saying is the outcome is different. But again, that's just a fan liking the game, pulling for their team. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do that. Everybody's going to do that. But the accountability part goes a little bit deeper, which you always tell me, hey man, let's just teach our kids not to blame anything but us.
Right.
And that's one thing I always side with you. And that's why I said in my post, hey, I'm going to complain about the referee calling it. He could have not called that. He could let that go. You know what I'm saying? He could let it go. Because you're right. Duke wasn't getting the ball. You're right. But Houston still would have had to score. That's all I was trying to bring out. Hey man, play it out. Just let it play out. We're going to have a different outcome. Could have been different.
But see, the reason I complain about it is because they called the foul that put him at the free throw line. What if they don't call that foul and that shot is missing? Houston gets the ball. Now we're not even at the free throw. There's so many what ifs. Right. That's why I don't like that what if. Duke was up 14. Duke was up 6 with 33 seconds in a Final Four and couldn't get the ball in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like that play being discussed.
Hey, man, it's just, hey, it goes
I
back
know.
to Houston. No, it goes to Houston too. Houston had the same chance. Houston's up 12. Houston's up 12. Where was the
Deja
leadership
vu.
on the court? Where was leadership on the court for Houston to say, hey, man, didn't we do the same thing to these guys as they doing to us right now? Let's take a not a timeout. We gotta go talk to coach. I was talking to my players about that yesterday. I asked them, I said, why didn't the accountability of the players figure it out? We're up 12. We haven't scored in the last 4 minutes. So can we figure something out, guys? They keep knocking down some big shots. Why does coaching to be the one to do that? But anyway, that's a different story. That's another topic, man. I'm on my soapbox with that one because I agree with you saying, though, in reference to you're right. Accountability needs to be had at all levels, and moving parents out the way sometimes, especially as a 15, 16-year-old when they're driving their own cars,
Right.
it does support the kid being on that routine to say, hey, man, we got to make sure we take care of what we need to take care of. And showing up on practice is important.
Right.
I had a kid text me. So we had our track workout yesterday. I had a kid from my 17U team text me after the workout. Hey, coach, my mom hadn't responded to me all day. I didn't know where the location was for the workout. Now, mind you, we've been working out here since whatever that second week of March was. Okay, we've been at this track 4 times already. Now, I don't know if you heard me when I said he texted me to let me know that his mom just gave him the location. Sorry that he missed the workout. So I say this to say that the kid had what the whole time? He had
Yeah,
my phone
time
number.
to
No, he
yeah,
had
yeah,
my
time
phone
to
number the whole time. That when your mom didn't respond, you could have just texted me. People are going to be where they want to be.
correct. That I do believe. That I believe that. Hey, I'm a firm believer in that. You make time for what you want to make time for.
And so
Yep.
I'm a big believer of accountability, and I'm gonna forever be a big believer of accountability because and this is one of those things that we're on all sides. I was a referee, I'm now a referee assigner, but I'm also a coach and director. So I see all sides of it. You know what? We can blame that ref, but can we, before we go to blame that ref, can we look at what we did first? Like when you come to
Mm-hmm.
me, you want to come to me and vent about a ref, cool. But vent about your team too. Vent about the 13 turnovers that I literally just watched you have 3 of them in the last 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Talk about that before you come talking about the ref and that one call. Talk about the 4 layups that you missed because your players were eating nachos and in the bleachers and didn't warm up before the game. And y'all spent the first 5 minutes trying to get your legs up under you and gave away about 18 points. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about that before coming to complain to me about a ref.
Y'all laughed at
That's
me
all. That,
saying I'm supposed to one game, the Las Palapas game.
I do.
So you said it for me right there.
And that's my only issue with things. I'll listen to the coach complaining because you want to know something. Here's the cool part. Half the time when coaches be coming to me to complain about a ref, I was watching the game and I probably agreeing with you. But just make sure you take your accountability piece first too, coach. That's all.
I agree. I agree. Man.
I just sometimes like to complain you know, just to want to complain about the refs, man. That's what you listen sometimes. You ain't gotta take their side. Don't take no side. Just
They're,
Just do that for me. You ain't gotta take no side.
they're just in
You
the
ain't gotta
field.
take no side. Yeah, just listen.
That's
Just be like, That's
that,
all. You ain't gotta be like, well, I watched that front end there. Your guy missed that. Yeah, I know he missed it. I don't need you to bring that up right now. I ain't talking about him missing right now.
Yeah,
I'm,
I'm that guy that people don't like and have text message conversation with other grown men about that they don't think I know about it. Yeah, I'm that guy that people don't like when I do stuff like that, and I'm okay with that
hey,
because they're
that's
never gonna say it, because they're never gonna say it to my face.
no, that's the way it has to be, man. Because I don't, I try not to complain about anything because I know most of the stuff that's going to kill us is self-inflicted anyway. So, I mean, it just is the way it is. It is the way it is. But there's a lot of to unpack right there, and I think I already have a couple topics for next week, but we'll talk about that later as well because of this conversation. But I guess the last thing we'll talk about today, the last segment, because E-Tally brought this up earlier. I've noticed that a lot of the school ball, the programs and all that, they've got these kids working full time right now, and they'll still have them in the summer doing weights 3 times a week. They'll be having open gym. They'll be doing all that. They got the TABC stuff. They got all kinds of things going on. What are your recommendations on how the kids, the parents, and the coaches, as far as us, not the school coaches, but the tournament teams, how can we balance the school ball, the school ball, and the outside ball kind of demands that these kids have nowadays? Because it seems like these kids are just working all the time. So how do we balance that?
You can't. I lost my number one scorer, MVP, region, class 4 down in Calallen. I lost my number one scorer because the coach that doesn't have registration with TABC, so the MVP of the damn district could have gotten all region and all state accolades from TABC, right? But has them going through some athletic workout and got younger classmen, and my guy comes down on somebody that comes under him on a dunk. He's on a fast break on a dunk, and a kid comes under him, kid that can't even touch the damn net. And now he's out. My number one scorer, my 17U team, on the face of Prep Hoops flyer, name and recognition, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we're going to lose that battle every time because school wins. There's going to come a time that we're not even going to have our teams anymore because the schools are doing so much. You know, it used to be the spring and summer was ours. Schools got them back in the fall. So we started releasing them in August, September. Well, it seems like that window for us is getting smaller and smaller each year, to where we're basically taking kids that we have no time with and hoping we can get it done. Because, like you said, they're doing so much at the school. And like Eric spoke on earlier, we have to give them opportunity to recover, because then we're being unfair to their bodies. And so you ask, how do we balance it? When either one of y'all figure that out, please share that nugget with me, because that's about, I'm just not going to fight.
As I try to juggle all this, only way I guess for me is I do have a good relationship with all the coaches, you know, and I do try to advocate for both sides as a program director and my coach and the coaches at the school. So, hey man, I just try to have that communication. That's all I can say. Because
I'm with you. I got the same
no,
relationships with these coaches.
no, I'm just saying that's the only thing I can advocate for. It's just like, hey man, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just trying to say, like, that's the only thing you can do, because again, that coach, that coach wants to, get their athlete to that level where they want. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. In the beginning is where I told that kid, hey man, you want to play on Sundays? You can't play with us. Not you can't play with us, but we're not the good fit, because you should be trying to make sure every day you're trying to. We used to in Japan, to be a great receiver, we used to always say, man, guys got to put their hands in the sand, like literally get those hands rough to where, though, when that ball is thrown, they got to stick them without using gloves. You know what I mean? Right. And that's what, stuff like that he has to figure out and do. So I know basketball, you can use some of the opportunities in basketball to become that athlete that you're trying to be. But for me, God forbid you out there trying to get a rebound and you just say someone undercuts your knee. That knee is hips, knees, and ankles and feet. You need all those. That's the stuff you don't want to damage. Not on my watch, man. I'm sorry. Because then no, I just see no. So that's the best thing that I can say. Just had that relationship with those coaches to say, hey, when you know they're lifting, because I found out a school on Mondays and Wednesdays lift heavy, or no, every Monday they find out they max.
Max out.
They max out every Monday. So when they come to practice, when we have Mondays, so for us as a program, I might want to look at something how we do towards though, hey man, let's just shoot around because just
Stretch and
because
shoot around.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because just because they maxed out to benefit that kid, we don't need to have them doing suicides, running up and making them think they in the army. But we definitely need to make sure they putting shots up to make sure they still find that shot for them. So that's the only way that's what I would suggest, Rich, just to find out what school regiment they're on and try to accommodate that. Because Mike said, man, it's getting smaller and smaller. Like now, like I say, TABC is huge, man. I was telling a parent yesterday how I was told TABC is the largest recruiting event in the United States where the most coaches in Division One, Division Two, or just college coaches, period, are at one location. This is the largest. It's bigger than the EYBL. It's bigger than all of the shoe circuits. This is the largest one, and it's all in Texas. So, hey man, hey, that's a great thing. So,
It is.
and they want to put on because I don't know if y'all remember, but a few years ago, the high school coaches couldn't coach.
Weren't going right.
They couldn't coach, so they were still sending their teams, but they couldn't coach them. And then UIL signed off on it and said, yeah. So now the approach is differently now. Now the approach is, oh, I'm on the bench. Okay, got it. You know that coach want to get dubs just like we do. We all say it's about development. It's about getting better, but we all want to win. We all want to win.
I get it. That's tough. I mean, like you said, it's shrinking on us. Our ability to impact these kids is slowly diminishing. But you never know. That could accelerate in the future with a lot of different things that are coming down. I heard that recently there's a lawsuit up in Dallas for a gymnast or something like that who the school is capitalizing off of her name, image, likeness, and you never know. Pretty soon, NIL might creep its way into high school, and if that happens, we're gonna start seeing less and less of our kids on our tournament teams. In my opinion.
No, you got to pay. Tournament teams gonna have to pay. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
They'll have to be like the shoe circuit. They'll be like the shoe circuit.
yeah,
And
Yeah, I
and
remember earlier when I told you I hate it here and what
yeah,
level I'm going back to.
yeah.
There's a reason.
yep,
I'm not dealing with none of that.
yeah. I mean, I might be on that farewell tour with you pretty soon, man. I want to get some of those gifts.
Yes, God. Here y'all go.
And you don't want to mention it. That's all. You want to put it out there. So
Hey,
this is
hey,
it.
when I do my farewell tour, I want a piece of the ACA floor with a plaque on it.
You're going to prep hoops this weekend, right, Mike? Dallas.
My ninth graders are because
Okay.
my
Okay.
17s and my 14s are playing in Kansas at the end of the month, so they're off. The
Okay.
28th weren't able to make Kansas, so they're playing this weekend. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, there you go. Are you coaching?
No.
Okay. Okay. That's just the 16s, right?
15s.
Mm.
Oh, you coach the 15s. Who coached the
I coach. I, co-
17s?
I coach 14 and U and 17 U.
Okay. 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 14s and 17. Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of takes us to our final thoughts, guys. So I'm gonna let who wants to go first with final thoughts today? E-Tally? Mike Daniel. Final thoughts.
No, I'm pointing at Italy. He got final thought first. Because
Well, okay.
last week he said I stole his thunder, so I don't want to steal his
No,
thunder this
no,
week. So,
man. No, it was
I'm
you didn't
gonna
steal the thunder.
I'm gonna let
No,
him get all his thunder and lightning this
no,
week.
that wasn't for our final thoughts. That was that question was asked. But again, you hit the nail on the head, honestly though. But as far as final thoughts, man, just again, since we are talking basketball and just so much working out and just taking care of yourself. That's the only thing I'm sound like y'all during the high school season. Just make sure you take care of your body. Again, if your school has ice baths, please partake in that. If you have any kind of recovery, make sure you're stretching before and after, because at the end of the day, your body is not a machine that you think it is, to where it can just bounce back from injuries and soreness and things like that. So, with all that being said, just make sure you're hearing your body when it talks to you and you're responding to it. So again, if your body is sore, that's great. That's the recovery process of your body taking care of itself. But if you are doing things like hearing your knee pop, or joints and your legs not moving properly to where as though it's making you walk differently, yeah, you might want to give your body a rest. That's something telling you something wrong. You need a rest. But if you're just sore, you just you can still move and stretch the way you need to, then you're fine. You just need to do more of it. But if those joints aren't allowing you to touch your toes like you normally did, and just kind of do your normal day to day, take a break. Take a break. Listen to your body. There you go.
Yep. It's a good one. That's a good one.
So I've got a goofy final thought and a real final thought. You guys watch the sports shows and Shannon Sharp and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Rich does. He tell you keep up with Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, I try to.
All right, so y'all saw what happened yesterday, right? With the Denver Nuggets?
Yes. Mike
All right,
Malone got fired.
Mike Malone, Karl Malone, Game of Thrones, give a dog a bone, Lakers in 5.
Oh man.
That was a great take. Great take.
Interesting.
But real deal, real talk. Man, all I've got, finish up the year taking care of your grades. You're at the end of the year. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything stupid at this time. Don't give anybody a reason to make you an example. Student athlete, I'm going to forever preach that. Just take care of your business. Put the work in. You say you have collegiate aspirations, then mirror that with collegiate work ethic. Don't talk about having collegiate aspirations and mirror it with YMCA and I-9 work ethic. That's my final thought.
Because with that, I agree with that transfer portal and all that. As a high school student, the only way you're going to stand apart is if they think that you're mature enough to handle that load. And your GPA is part of it, a big part of it. Definitely. Well, my final thought is yes, I do watch those sports shows, but I'm starting to think that outside of our podcast, I'm starting to think Club Shay Shay's got the second best podcast in all of the podcast world, man. That he had Damon Wayans on. He's had Marlon Wayans. Those are some good. If you don't have, watch those if you want. That's some good stuff right there. I love watching podcasts where it's all positive, all love. I mean, those are some good podcasts. I gotta say that a little different than the Cat Williams one last year, but these are good. I'm thinking that Club Shay Shay. If you don't watch it, watch it. That's a good podcast right there. My final thought though is, man, I think both of you nailed it on the head. I'm not going to say y'all stole my thunder, but when with this whole talk that we had about high school ball shrinking our time, we as coaches we have to be cognizant of what our players are doing at school. It's not just on them to take the ice baths and to take care of their body. We got to take care of our kids as well because they are being stretched and taxed to the limit. Like I'll say, my boys at O'Connor, I know on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they go early. They go before school to lift. Then they have their period, and then they have after school on Tuesdays, Thursdays. They have after school open gym. It's constant for them. So we have to be cognizant. We got to figure out what they're doing. I think Etali did touch on that. We have to know what's going on for our kids at their schools, and we got to plan accordingly, because the last thing we want to do is contribute to the overuse injuries. And that's my thought. Could we, sometimes the kids, if you roll the basketball out, they're going to play. They want to play. So sometimes we have to take the lead in that. So that's my final thought.
I got a special shout out, a couple shout outs. Shout out to the real LeBron fans that send me DMs to show me something negative about LeBron. To those LeBron fans that they have an automatic notification every time LeBron's name is mentioned online, and they're on every post that mentions LeBron. I want to just give a shout out to those special LeBron fans out there. We see you. We know who you really are. And shout out. And then for all you guys that follow us, we appreciate your support. And don't remember, like, share, subscribe. Costs nothing to do all of the above.
Fantastic.
I love how you rolled all that in there too. That was awesome right there.
I love it. I mean,
great plug.
He's got that same energy that I have for the Cowboys haters. He's got that same energy for LeBron as I have for the Cowboy haters, because I know who they all are too.
So real quick, what's April 24th, fellas? That's a special day in America.
Is it the NFL draft?
There you go.
Day one of the NFL.
There you go. Day one.
Day one.
I would have tricked that answer off. I'd have never got that answer right.
Listen, when you have a grandson, that's all he talks about is football, football, football. And all that's on my TV when he's home is football. It's tough. I gotta get him out of it. I really do.
Let me say one last thing about what Mike Daniels said right there, real quick. He was talking about LeBron.
Here we go. I'd have ignited it.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm gonna surprise Mike with what I'm about to say.
Hit dog holler.
Listen. Look, we can have a lot of fun at LeBron's expense, but I think most of the time a lot of people like to mess with LeBron fans because they take things so personal. Just like MJ fans take things personal too. But let's not forget, because I'm also a big Dak Prescott fan for the Cowboys. He's quarterback, all that good stuff. But let's not forget, just like Dak Prescott, LeBron is he's ahead of Dak in his career, but he's a good father. He does care about people in the community. He's done a lot of things philanthropically, I guess you would say. He doesn't get in trouble. You don't hear about him at nightclubs. You don't hear about him breaking a chair on somebody or beer bottle on somebody's head in a nightclub. So we need to start understanding that, or start treating these guys the way they deserve. And for somebody like him, doesn't get in trouble, I got to give him kudos, because he's got a lot of wealth. He's got a lot of fame, and it's real easy to let that get to your head to that next level, and he doesn't do that. So I'm going to give him some love there. LeBron, keep being a good mentor for kids and a role model for kids. Because unlike with my mom, I love Charles Barkley, but I do remember him saying that he's not a role model. Yeah, you are. You got to act like that, because these kids watch you. They watch everything you do. So that's all I got to say about LeBron right there. So,
Mr. DeLeon, you better be careful giving LeBron praise. You might get kicked out your basketball program, sir.
Hey, I'm still gonna say MJ's my GOAT, but hey, I just hate the GOAT conversation in general. But if you hold a gun to my head, I'm gonna say MJ. That's all.
Hey, you think people mad now? Wait till LeBron's on the court with Bronny and Bryce.
Hey man, I cannot hate on him, because I'm gonna tell you why. Obviously, I'm not LeBron on a micro level. I do life and health insurance as well as real estate. But one thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to use my influence in real estate and life and health insurance to help my son get his licenses, to get in the industry and get him started in the right track. And guess what? When I pass away, whenever that might be, hopefully it's not anytime soon, but my book of business gets, my son would be the beneficiary, and he would take my book of business. So on a different level, on a different note, I can respect what LeBron's doing for his kids, because that's what I'm doing for mine. So
I'll leave y'all with this number. So people complain that yeah, it's cool you got him in the league, but what about that $4 million contract? And so I just simply respond, you think the Lakers give a damn about a $40 million contract and this man generated $50 million in jersey sales? Do the math. Do the math, numbnuts. Name me a number 55 pick that generated $100 in jersey sales, let alone 46 million profit on jersey sales, along with the opening night when they touched the court together. Some
Right.
folks are just slow. But anyway, that's all I got.
It is what it is. All right, fellas. Remember,
Hey, thank you again.
thank you guys.
Go ahead, Rich. Take us home.
As usual, this was a much needed break from the reality of the workday, and I wouldn't pick anybody else to do it with than you guys. So hey, I'm gonna tell everybody my same thing. Mike already touched on everything else. I'm just gonna say be kind to one another, and hey, be kind to LeBron too. That doesn't cost a dime.
Good afternoon, fellas.
All right, see ya.